Right here. What's that?
Perfect. Thanks, buddy. Cool.
All right, what's up, guys? Sorry about that. We had no volume. We got to turn it on again. So we've been talking to ourselves for the last 30 minutes.
I mean, I talk to myself a lot more than that usually. So yeah, about 30 minutes of just complete great conversations you guys have missed. So sorry. My name's Jesse. I'm from Poker News. With me is Ray Henson.
Yeah, we're coming to you live, I think 15 minutes away from the lovely Champion Social Club
In West Houston off of Bel Air Boulevard.
Yeah, Lone Star Poker Series main event. This is not the final table. We're just at the feature table. There's
I'm actually going to pop up on my phone from Poker Eyes.
Yeah, so for those of you that have been watching and imagining what we were saying, just know there was some great commentary you guys missed.
Ray told some amazing stories, but we're not going to retell them. We missed it, so sorry.
One bet, 25,000.
So we got the problem fixed. Again, we apologize. We're gonna try not to let that happen again. So we're picking up 8,000, or I'm sorry, the blinds are not 8,000. They're currently 6,000, 12,000 with the 12,000 big blind ante. And there you see Chris is our chip leader at this feature table. Obviously, you guys have seen the action that's happened. I hope everybody's enjoying this. Again, we are on a 15-minute delay.
But we are going to be live in comments on Facebook, so if you want to chat with me or Ray, facebook.com/the feature table. We are live on Twitch, we're live on YouTube, and Facebook.
And Kel raised it from the hijack with the ace jack. And it's on Corey. The raise came from the hijack, so he doesn't have to be as much. And Corey makes a very disciplined fold there.
So day 2 is where we're at. We started the day with 107 runners. Players were guaranteed $1,200
Is that
as they came
Patrick
back.
Mahomes that just walked through? You could find anybody in this place. I mean, I saw the jersey. It said Mahomes, so it had to be him.
There you go. 82 players remain, guys, and at this point, everybody has locked up 1,275. We will be with you all day as we go from 82 players down to 1, who will take home a top prize of $81,720.
That's a lot of money for a 600 buy-in tournament.
Yeah, no kidding.
And this tournament did get more entries than any tournament in Texas history, unless I'm missing something. And I don't believe I am.
One fold.
It's a beautiful turnout, man.
Yeah, it's been amazing. This whole week has been a lot of fun.
Four folds.
To all you guys out there listening that have already gone back home that played some prelims or did not bag in the main like myself, or for those that are locals here around town that are at home watching today, there's still time to come out and play the Monster Stack. It's going to be getting underway here in about a half hour. And but for those that came out watching at home right now, we appreciate you coming. It's been a lot of fun. I met a lot of new people. And I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, with these kinds of results, I think this is something to stay, man. And hopefully, we'll see now when these are champions. This has been a great room all week. Daniel 1+2 is going to open the action with 9-7 suited, 2 spades. Folding around to the small and big blind, and see if Carl wants to get a half price entry.
And you know, it's something you have to do. You can't just sit around and wait for aces and kings all day, unless you're just a card rack. But you know, that's how. And as you see, he pretty much ties Chris for the chip lead on the table, and you know, it's a style I like to play myself. Let's mix it up, play a lot of hands.
Nothing wrong with that.
Kel under the gun, and again, the under the gun guy getting all the hands.
Raise 30,000.
It has been consistent, that's for sure.
10 fold, 1 fold.
And he has the ace king of diamonds races under the gun, and nobody really has anything until David's card set it. So yeah, he's got ace 9 on the button. I expect him to fold to that, yeah. And Chris is forced to defend here with king queen. He's just in rough shape. But he's gonna need to flop big to continue. You know, luckily for Chris, it doesn't come too high here, or
Bet 20,000.
he would be doubling up Kel. And Chris takes what they like to call a donk bet on the 10-7-6, knowing, and I'm sure he's played with Kel some, and knowing that Kel did not raise under the gun with a hand like Danny just raised with, and knowing that the 10-7-6 flop is going to hit Chris a lot more often than it's going to hit the under the gun raiser, and great bet by Chris to pick up the pot. It's impressive. I didn't think you had it in you, Chris. Yeah, for those that don't know, I'm just giving Chris a little needle. He's a good friend of mine.
Chris has the kind of personality where he can take a big needle.
Chris takes all the needles.
Oh, he needs to, yeah.
He'll dish out the needles too, so
right.
it works out.
Noah in the hijack is going to open the action, raise it to 25K.
Yeah, Noah likes to play a lot of hands too.
Yeah.
He's and as I was saying before we went on stream, Noah and a big group of guys all drove up here from Corpus Christi. It's about a 4.5-hour drive.
Yeah, maybe a 3.5-hour drive south on the Arroyo, Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so it's a 3.5-hour drive to this part of Houston. It's about a 5-hour drive to the other side of Houston.
Yeah.
Depending on the time of day, it could be and Carl from the button. I didn't see this. I'm sorry, guys. Carl moved it in here with the queen 10, and he did play with Noah yesterday. I was on the same table with both these guys, so he knows Noah likes to play a lot of hands. Noah races from the hijack here, and Carl's obviously just hoping to get a fold through. And if Noah does make the call, Carl will be excited to see he's in a point flip. You know, Carl knows he doesn't have the best hand here with queen 10. It's just one of those spots where he needs to pick up chips. And like I was saying, you can't wait for the aces and kings all day. And Carl does win it. Good move by Carl. But back to Noah. He drove up from Corpus. He owns a clothing brand, Let's Run It. And all these guys have been here all week playing all the tournaments. Fun group of guys.
Corey into the gun with 10 deuces is going to fold, and it's going to fold around. See what Carl and Cuff does with this 10 offsuit.
And Carl looks like he's going to play another hand against pocket threes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carl is a very capable player. He likes to make a lot of moves, and he understands what's going on. He plays poker around town and around all these tournaments and stuff. Very beloved around town, and you see Chris added from the button with the threes. And that brought Kel along from the small blind with Queen Jack.
Right.
And so now it's anybody's ball game. Well, not anymore, because Chris does flop a set. Unfortunately for Chris, neither one of these guys have anything. But Carl is going to put out a continuation bet, knowing that Chris did not flat behind with a hand that smashes that board unless he flopped a set.
Right. It's a very unassuming flop.
And the thing about sets, they sneak up on you, and you just never see them coming. And now Chris is thinking here, all right, do I want to raise it and hope Carl has an overpair and we get it in? Or do I want to flat and hope one of these guys can catch something? And, you know, part of the problem with flatting here is if Carl on the flop, but let's say the turn is a 7 and Carl had 2 10s. Now he knows Chris could have like pocket 5s or something, make a straight, and Carl checks and Chris goes all in, and Carl again, now mind games, knows Chris could have just floated the flop with a king-queen type hand and is using that card knowing that Carl cannot continue with hardly anything, and Carl doesn't want to give it up. I do expect Carl to eventually make a fold here, but he's not going to like the fold until he sees what happened.
My fault.
Yeah, see, he's not liking it. He knows. He's like, I just got bluffed.
Yep.
But
that's right.
he's going to be happy to know Chris did not bluff him.
It just looks like it. Looks like it and feels like a bluff, but no.
It does. And, you know, like I said, he continued his bet on the flop, knowing that Chris just did not have a type of hand like a 5-7 or, you know, a hand that flops 2 pair on that board.
Right, absolutely.
And those sets, they sneak up on you. They're hard to flop, but when you do, it's it can really hurt you. That's how I busted 3 of these flights with 1 table before the money. Was I had the overpair against the set,
2 fold, 4 fold.
and you know, they're hard to see.
Action folds around Carl on the hijack with pocket 5s.
5, yeah, go in.
And with 10 bigs, he's going to be getting it in here, and he does. And let's see what Kel does here with Ace Jack.
Ace Jack, and Carl has him covered. One of the few, I mean, Kale with the shortest stack of the table.
And Kel is going to call here with Ace Jack, and they're going to be racing. And, you know, we say it over and over all week on the stream. These races, a lot of times there's nothing you can do. Both players play their hand correctly, and you're just at the fate of the cards. And Carl does have the covering stack. Finds the safe flop. And the turn is an ace. So Carl's still going to be left with 1 big blind. They haven't counted it down yet. That's why you see him getting up. He thinks he's probably covered. He's going to have a big line, and, you know, it's as unfortunate as it is to have 1 big line, you're still not out of it. And he has 9K, so the ante is 12K. So when he puts it in, let's say he puts it in this hand, and it folds around to the big blind. Now he'll be able to win 9K from himself, 9K from the big blind, 6K from the small blind, and 12K from the ante.
Right.
And so now he goes from 1 big blind to 3.5.
No! Where are you going?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it sounds like another frame just busted.
I'll be in there in a little bit. Good fold. 4 fold.
Again, it's
5 all in.
look at all these hands that these guys just have. You know, there's just nothing out there, and that's why aggression is key. It's so hard for people to pick up hands, and Carl puts it in here with the Jack 6. And around to the small blind, he has Ace 5. Corey's going to ship it in here, and Carl's going to love the fact that he's going to ship because now he has to play against one hand with the same amount of money he's got. So Carl does have 2 live cards. About a 2-to-1
How we
dog
lost
there.
most of them were completely out of control. Kings versus ace queen. 3 o'clock all in.
10-4-4, nothing for anybody. A 4. And Carl misses. Good game, Carl. Played with him pretty much the entire day yesterday. Played with him quite a bit around town. Like I said, he's very beloved in the community.
Carl finishes in 75th place. He did make a pay ladder up to $1,275. Next page will be after, I think, 72nd for $1,375. It's so nice that players come back in the money.
Oh yeah, it's a great feeling to come back in the money. I have played several events where you start day 2 and you're 10 off the money with 100 people coming back.
Right.
It's not a good feeling to be one of those 10 people.
No kidding.
It also wasn't a good feeling for me yesterday to play the early flight, bust, 2 away from bagging.
God.
So then I jumped in the late flight and literally was the exact bubble.
That's
So
insane.
that was not a lot of fun. But you know, I would have much rather busted last night, go home knowing I was done, than have gone home hoping to come back, spin it up today, and be one of the few people that bust out of the money. So I like the way it's done, where come back day 2, you're in the money.
We just got confirmation sound is working. We're back on with a 15-minute delay. Perfect.
And there's those pocket 3s again. Pocket 3s is going to be the hand of the day.
at least this early levels. Day 2. Absolutely. You're watching day 2 of the Lone Star Poker Series $600 buy-in main event. This event had $200,000 guarantee. It was completely smashed. This event brought in a total of $447,270. And the top prize is a juicy $81,720.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. Ooh, the big blind. Ace King suited. Let's see if there's any action for it.
And Kel on the short stack with the suited ace. What a disciplined fold. It's so hard on that short stack. You look at an ace and you're like, I want to get it in. But, you know, like I was saying earlier when the volume wasn't on, it's when you're under the gun, you have so many people to act behind you, and it's tough to get through everybody. And when you put it in with the ace-6 there, you're basically hoping that 6 people behind you all get dealt backwards. And Danny raised it from a small blind with the 7-8, or no, not
Hijack.
from the hijack, I'm sorry, with the 7-8 suited. And, you know, like I said, Danny's mixing it up, getting some hands in there, and fully expect David to shift, and he does. And it's good to get through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Danny just posturing here, and
The only thing.
74 players that blinds are now going up. They're going to play this hand at 6-12, but after this, we're going to
It's so fun, but I can't really do it without gambling.
and pre-flop rates. Like I said, Danny at 23% now has the most pre-flop aggression of anybody at the table. I'm not shocked by that.
No money needed whatsoever.
And here we go again, where nobody has a playable hand, and it's first person shows aggression wins.
Tenfold. You always expand the tax and all that kind of
You
stuff.
gotta get invited to try.
One raise, 25,000.
Can you-
Alright, blind up.
Hey. Chris has a beautiful stack, 631,000. Still the chip there at this table. Danny, just under 500K with 31 big blinds. Blinds just went up to 8,000, 16,000.
Y'all finished so early, a level early, 23 minutes earlier than anyone else.
I made a comment on that on the stream, like, I was going to 7 minutes, I wouldn't be here for at least another 2 hours, and literally, I hear Eric in the background, all right, boys, that's it. Wait, what?
Action is folding around. Let's see if we get anything out of these late position players. Noah with Queen 9 opposite in the cup is going to open. Open with 32, okay.
That was a dealership. Where's Steve? How he's doing for him?
And Kale lays it down.
Someone ducked out from underneath him.
Nice little pickup for Noah. Day 1 had 4 entry flights. There's 1A and 1B on, let's see, on Friday, 1C and 1D on Saturday, and of course today, Sunday, we're having our day 2, which will go down to the winner. Some great starting hands, so we'll see how it goes. Ooh, Jonathan Undergun +1 chooses to open. Open 35K with 8-6 diamonds. Folds around David in the cup with King Queen of Hearts. We got Chris right behind him on the button with Ace King offsuit. Ooh, good lay down, David. Chris, our chip leader at the table, with Ace King offsuit. Going to raise up to 100,000. Nice big 3-bet. And Jonathan snap folds. Yeah, this event had a great turnout. Day 1A had 193 runners. 1B had 173. So already on day 1, they nearly met the $200,000 guarantee, and it's a huge turnout. In 1C and 1D, this prize pool was just ballooned. Ballooned up to $447,270.
I saw you thinking about it. I'm like, I ain't folding.
4 raise, 35,000.
Be able to talk.
7 fold, 8 fold.
David in the hijack is going to open. Queen 10 of spades is going to raise to 35,000. Just over 2x. Danny in the small blind with King Jack offsuit will make a call and heads up the flop. Eight, 9, 3, all clubs. Danny has the king of clubs.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Oh, the beautiful Michelle. Be careful, I don't know if you noticed, but it's got like the fight just over the
Danny first act does check his action.
Okay.
Where David with the queen 10.
33,000.
3-3?
David bets to 33,000.
9 cards.
Danny has to call here. 4 clubs, and we'll see a turn.
3-5-5.
Ooh, all right. Danny pairs his king. David has a gut shot straight draw. He flopped the gut shot straight draw. It's just improved to a king high if he hits that jack now. With the deuce of spades, Danny's king jack will be our winner, and he puts about 50,000 up there. Praying that David hits something, but unfortunately, David's just on the draw and will easily lay it down.
3-5-5? Yeah.
So one thing that's great about Lone Star Poker Series, you guys, besides offering the fun trophies, the belt buckles and the money clips from Max Lang Jewelers here in Houston, one thing that is consistent with this poker series is they bring in an amazing floor staff to help out with the poker room from all over the country. You've got people who you'll see if you ever watch WSOP on ESPN. If you've been to Las Vegas to the Rio to be there for the summer, a lot of the dealers that you see here in Lone Star are going to be floors. Going to be some of the managers who work around the WSOP. So the experience is definitely here. You can come out here to Houston, play in these events with confidence that things will be run, very beautifully. Just a fantastic crew, a fantastic staff here at this event, this series. One guy who was just walking around who just walked out of the room that you might have seen on camera is T.I. He is one of the main managers at WSOP during the summer. He covers a lot of the mixed games. And his professionalism, his experience in the game is just such a value to have. Keith, Undergun +1 has suited ace, ace-4 of hearts. We expect him to open the action here.
Log rate 40,000.
8K, 16K, he opens it to 40,000. Danny the Cuff has 10-9 of hearts. He lays it down, good. Corey on the button with ace-7 off. Roll it down. Jonathan looks with the queens in the small blind. Jonathan, the one seat is going to be raising.
120,000.
He pops it up to 120,000. It's been pretty standard in these 3 bets to make it 3x the initial raise. And here we are. Keith is put to the test. Ace-4 suited. You will be in position if you make this call, Keith. But that is basically the only benefit you have, and he does lay it down. Alright, with dealer change. Champion Social here in West Houston has 28 poker tables. They've made the investment into the tables to add automatic shufflers. So if you play around Houston, you like to see different rooms and different options. One of the definite benefits here is that with these automatic shufflers, they've seen an increase of 30 to 40% of hands per hour. So a great value. It's $14 an hour. Come out here and play. So if you haven't met the champions, I highly recommend checking them out. In addition, they've got a great bar, a great menu, lots of great dishes. Just a great experience here. This big, open, clean, beautiful room.
Yeah, Jesse, I just heard you talking about the great menu. That's what I took a break for. I had to go grab some food.
That's right.
It's my breakfast. I see Mr. Keith Norris has joined the table.
Yeah.
Another guy that plays quite a bit around town. And you were mentioning the automatic shufflers. There's no automatic shuffle on this table, and the reason for that is they're RFID cards. So they have antennas inside the cards. So if you actually put those in a shuffle machine, it's going to ruin the cards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So with that, the entire room, nobody saw the use of shufflers, because it wouldn't be fair for one table not to and the rest to. And they did move the blinds to 40 minutes today rather than 30 minutes. So they're still going to see a lot of hands per level. These structures are amazing.
1 in 10 now.
Yeah, definitely a big benefit for the players to have that extra time to think and to not be pressured to quickly try to grow your stack. Take your time, enjoy this day too. There's so much money at stake, you definitely want to enjoy this experience. This doesn't happen often, especially in the city of Houston.
Yeah, and Keith is right next to Chris. They have a lot of experience. I was saying earlier how Chris started playing poker around town in under games when he was 16 years old. And that entire time, Keith has been playing in a lot of those same games Chris has been playing in. Like weekly tournaments and whatnot, so they're going to know each other's games very well. I could see some fireworks between these two.
Oh, that's awesome.
Instead of Billy Irish Ocean Eyes, it's Jonathan Eyes.
Yeah, Keith's another one. He fits in great at this table. A lot of these guys, although they're here to win 82,000, they also are playing poker because they enjoy it. They have fun at it. And all week long, all these guys have been here and drinks have been flowing. Everybody laughing, having a good time. The needles of people bubbling. Chris's full name is actually Chris Birchfield, but I'm pretty sure he legally had it changed to Chris Bubblefield since he enjoys bubbling so much. And here he is. He didn't bubble. I'm not sure how that happened.
Terrible. Just horrible.
And Danny under the gun raises it up with the ace-9. Been raising a lot of hands. Keith is going to defend here with the jack-10. Let's see if we get 3 cards out there. They're coming. And Queen-9 deuce. Danny flops middle pair with the, with the top kicker. And Keith is actually the favorite in this hand, even though he's behind. He has the jack of spades with backdoor flush draw equity, plus his pair cards are live and he's open-ended. Danny bets 45K and Keith elects to just call here. And there it is, king of spades. So now Keith has 100% going to win this hand unless for some reason he ends up folding. Don't see that happening. And unfortunately for him, he hit the king of spades. Had he hit like the 8 of hearts, he might get a call here on the river. It's going to be hard for Danny to call here because so much got there. Yeah, and you know, Keith's just going to be bluffing here because the spades came, the king came. If Keith had king 10, king jack, 10 jack, all of this beats Danny now. You know, whereas if it was offsuit 8, now he could be betting miss flush draws, he could be betting miss straight draws. But when it's a king, the miss straight draw also hits his good fold by Danny to not lose any more chips on that hand. Rob Bowden walking around looks like he might have missed it. Another local legend.
Danny, you're going to +1 with ace-10 offsuit. That's going to open to 35,000.
I mean, the Cowboys over there, so
Yeah, here's Danny again. He's showing the most aggression at the table. Unfortunately for him, he's run into a lot of big hands. And that happens here again. And good old ace-jack. Shout out to Antoine.
Whoa.
Antoine would be very happy with this fold. I hope you're watching, Antoine. He says ace-jack, you should just put in the muck all times, no matter what. Yeah, anybody around Houston knows Antoine. Another guy, he was here playing all week. Great guy.
Yeah. Chris is going to flat from the big blind with his pocket fives. It'll be heads up to a flop. Queen,
Hey,
four.
Chris missed his set this time. What's going on? Still has the best hand.
It's a new dealer, that's why.
Got it.
Yeah. This guy doesn't know yet.
And you see Chris donk bet again. And Danny gonna float here with the ace-10.
Nice card for Chris there on the turn.
Good luck, everybody. Next week here. 7 makes it 55.
And Chris is not gonna slow down. He's actually bet to show Danny what he has. He bet 55, which happens to be his hand.
So good.
I realized what I bet is what I had. I just don't have to worry.
Did you hear what he said? I just realized what I bet was what I had.
Oh, Chris, that's fantastic.
I'm glad I said it before he did.
Whoops, whoopsies.
Yeah, it's like one of those Freudian slips. He was like, oh, 55, why'd I just bet that?
So good.
That'll do it.
We're live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, guys. We are on a 15-minute delay to preserve the integrity of the game. So if you have any questions for Ray or myself, Jesse, feel free to hit us up in chat. We're watching the chat on Twitch and on Facebook. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments. Ray is fantastic. He knows these players so well, being that he's here in Houston. You know, he's played with these guys for years.
Oh
So,
yeah, I was telling everybody, I love it. Like, anytime you go, you know, when I go to Borgata to play, and I see all these guys that are
10, 12, 1, 12.
for my years of traveling around the country, I don't know 80% of the table. Now, if you come here and, you know, like I said, I know almost this entire table. Noah, I just met this week. Kel, I haven't played with, but everybody else, and Danny, I haven't played with. Everybody else I know extremely well. And a lot of them also know each other really well. And, you know, that changes dynamics. You know, sometimes you get in a spot to where you have no idea what to do because you have no idea who you're playing against. And I could be in that same spot, but since I know all these guys, I get to play the hand differently than you do. And, you know, the same thing, like when I go to another city, Miami, for instance, I have no idea how all these people play. So, you know, it makes my spots a lot tougher.
Absolutely.
But it's fun. I love having poker here in town.
Oh, man. It's just so rad. Yeah, if this existed back when I still lived in Houston, I don't know if I would have been so urgent to move. I moved to Vegas 6 years ago, and this is just such a cool thing to see, man. Such a great transition to the city. Big hands.
Oh my goodness.
Big, and look at Chris.
And this is gonna change
Yeah.
a lot here. Now Corey just open rips under the gun off of like 7 bigs with 6-8 of hearts, and Keith from the cutoff is also gonna move in. And this is gonna put Chris in the tank. And I don't think Chris is gonna be able to find a fold here.
Chris starts the same with 833,000 chips. The chip average in this tournament right now is 566K, and only Chris has an above-average stack, you guys, in this table.
Yeah, and I expect Chris to think this through for a long time and find a call here. He knows Keith isn't messing around, but he also just crushes 10s and jacks. And, you know, he is behind aces. He's behind kings, obviously. Yeah,
He's just got to take time. With his stack where it is, he's put so much work into building it from his start. He started the day with about 500K. He's up to 833. Last thing we do
now
is
Chris moves all
Here we
in.
go.
And you saw Keith just with a huge XL, like, oh, because he knows that Chris has to have a monster hand here. And he's actually going to be happy when Chris returns.
And the ace is just folded too. Ace 6 just got thrown them up. So one less out for Keith to find.
Jack 6-3, safe flop for Chris. 1 club. Turns to 6 of clubs.
Oh,
Now
Corey.
Corey takes the lead. And Corey makes a full house and Keith makes a flush.
Holy shit.
So Corey is going to triple, and Keith is still going to make chips on this hand.
Yeah, Keith backdoors a runner flush.
And that's going to catapult Keith into the chip lead at the table.
And poor God, man.
And Chris is still has a healthy stack for the table. He's still gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks losing a big pot like that, especially in that way. You know, if had Chris scooped that pot, he'd be well over $1 million.
He was ahead until the river. Well, I mean, for the side at least. That's 6 on a turn. Gosh.
And you know, those hands are hard to shake off, but Chris has played enough poker. He knows, and it's one thing I tell him all the time: don't think about I just got rivered for it. You're all in pre-flop. It was a flip. You were 50-50 from the get-go.
Yeah.
Just forget about the fact of when it came.
I was trying to summon the spirit of Tiffany. Only a week off stream last night.
Did you lay it down, Chris?
Yeah, I got an 18 and same thing. I mean, 18 early and I would have tripled up, but it was raised and then a re-raise, late position. I'm like 18's gotta be somewhat dead. Or, you know, someone had pocket pair and we both have aces. I'm like, I'm not, one full, and I flop the top pair with the left on it.
2 folds, 4 folds, 5 folds.
That one only had 5K invested.
7 raises to 35.
And it folds to Chris here in the cutoff, and he raises, and Kel might be lucky he didn't have a few more chips here, because it's going to look like Chris is steaming when he raises it here. And Kel with a very disciplined fold again on the button. Yeah, it's hard, like, right after you lose a hand, you pick up a hand like ace-10, you're like, oh, somebody's going to 3-bet me, but I'm still going to raise it. And even though Chris only won the blinds there, that pot was very important.
Absolutely. Gotta get some confidence back.
Yeah, always fun to be able to say the word million. And had he won that pot, he would be over $1 million.
So wild.
And the hand of the day, Mr. David Shaw with the pocket threes. They've been getting a lot of threes around here. And David's going to ship it in.
5 folds, 7 folds, 8, 9 folds.
Corey in the small blind has ace-7 offsuit.
And everybody else folds.
And everybody folds. There you go. We started the day with 107 players. We've been live for 2 hours, and I'm sorry, for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, just an hour and 15 minutes. Already down to 61 players. We've lost 46
No, I was wondering if I could get
in
one.
the first hour and 15 minutes of play.
I have 135 or something.
At this stage, everyone is guaranteed $1,500. That top prize is just sit up there looking so pretty. $81,720. You did? That's
4 folds, 5 folds, 7 folds, 8 folds, 9 folds.
Right.
no great starting hands here this round. Let's see.
Yep, the first one that looks at their chips wins.
Yep.
Some blinds and aces. And I wouldn't be shocked to see Corey raise it here.
I think he has to.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 2 napkins, but, you know, just hoping that the blinds don't have anything, and they don't have anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, you take initiative, you win pots that you're not supposed to win.
Very easy pickup.
Yeah, Noah knows it too. Noah's like, I know you're just raising the button because you just got all these extra chips by getting lucky, but I have a 9-4, so what am I supposed to do?
It's away from, escape it again.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Just saying.
And you see there, players left 61. So since the day started today, we've lost about 50 players already. And that tends to happen early on day 2. A lot of people excited after a long day, they put their chips in the bag, especially like we were talking earlier, how everybody comes back in the money on day 2. So there were a lot of very short sacks that were able to bag that came back today pretty short. And I'm not saying all the short sacks have busted, but you know, it's it does cause for some action.
Oh, for sure. We're live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, and I see we've got 53 viewers with us on Facebook. Thanks for hanging out with us, Michael, Alan, Tron.
Yeah, those are rookie numbers. Let's get those numbers up, guys. Share this with your friends.
Sharon.
Let everybody know how fun this is to watch. And obviously we're going to get more and more viewers as the day goes on and this thing starts getting deeper.
2 calls to 30.
Sharon, Joseph, thanks for hanging out with you guys. If you have any questions, any comments, throw them up there. We're watching. We'll get with you guys.
Heads up.
And Jonathan opens on the button here, and Noah defends small blind with a very pretty queen jack suited. And there's that 8-8-6 swap. So 3s are going to be the hand. 8-8-6 is going to be the board, I guess.
I mean,
And fully expect Jonathan to continuation bet the swap. It's hard for Noah to have anything here.
oh, what a small bet. Love it.
Yeah, and Noah wants to float, and again,
I can't.
you know, Noah just keeps saying, "You guys on the button,"
No king.
and now he gets a button. So let's see what he does with it. There you see average stat 575k, and that puts everybody at the table below average. And when you're in a tournament like this, you don't have to worry about what the average is for the room. You just play your table, and you know what chip stacks are here. You can't say I need to get to 575 because that's average. You know, you have to play your hands and your opponents. You don't worry about this. You don't worry about the There you see Chris circling the run.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and is he Superman?
Oh,
He's showing off the run good shirt.
For all your poker apparently.
Run good, one of our sponsors.
Ruggoodgear.com.
Yeah, go to rungoodgear.com and buy you one of those shirts. I bet it'll look better on you than it looks on me.
Everything.
9 raises in 37.
Let me tell you, my whole terrible. It's
10
ruggoodgear.com.
calls, 1 full. 2 fulls.
Danny and the gun +2 is going to open with Jack 10 off. And Keith in the big blind folds. Easy pickup.
You heard me. I know you're watching.
61 players remain in day 2 of the $600 buy-in main event. Keith is our new chipper at the table with 526k after Chris had a huge stack and sent some chips his way. Chris still with 29 big blinds is in a great spot.
Dave Raymond Henson?
Dave Raymond Henson.
I'm a girl who stacks up like really weird, and so you can shake a table and roll it down with it doesn't ever fall. But she doesn't know, you know.
Do they do it like a pyramid that comes up?
No, it's alternating. So there's all that stability that are straight up there. Yeah, I tried. Win one of those.
Well, go back and run the team, but I really want to put that on.
Danny and the gun +1. He's at pocket
Well,
fours.
with all these cameras, I ain't trying to say no, I ain't trying that period, but no fun business.
8 fulls. Oh, he's got 8 fulls. Yellow come off at the break.
Alright,
players at the end of this level will be coming off the yellow chips. I'm going to come around and hand out reps. Please do not slow the passes. You go ahead and start spending all the yellows. Otherwise, you players at the table.
Danny's going to open to 35,000. Just over to
1 full. 2 full.
Voltron David on the button in the 4 seat with Jack 10 of spades. Last act with suited Jack, and he does lay it down.
5 call.
Keith
7
in
full.
the small blind with 10 on offsuit does look to make a call. And we'll see a flop. Heads up. 10-9 versus 4s. 10-6-5 Rainbow puts Keith in the lead, carrying his 10.
That's 40.
And Keith is going to lead out first act. Keith usually have 2 overs and a missed. He wants to try to push Danny off. Oh, 3 of diamonds on the turn gives Danny a open-ended straight draw. And again, doesn't hit one of those big cards. So if Keith is so if Danny thinks he's in the lead with his pair, he is definitely going to stick around with his straight draw now. Keith looking to swerve away from a deuce, a 7 or a 4.
Oh, there's a 7.
Danny catches back up on the river with a straight.
What again? There's to 100. All the 100. Great.
Yeah, he's not gonna like it.
No. Keith opens it with
Runner under
40K.
straight for Danny with this flicker.
You guys gonna wrap your chips and go to table 13.
So players are going to break soon, and we're going to return with a brand new table, you guys, just to understand what's happening. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you guys heard Eric there, we're gonna get a new table on break, and we're gonna try to get as many of these people in here as we can. You know, a lot of you guys out there have friends that are playing right now that you want in there, so we're gonna switch it up quite a bit, and obviously as it gets deeper, more and more people will have the opportunity to play on this stream. And so you have another 6 minutes to watch these guys. And hope to see these guys back at it again later on as the field condenses.
No.
I don't want to lie. Oh no! Taylor! Good game. Didn't know this.
I'm not here behind.
I thought they were on the list.
Good lay down.
I need to be on that list where you can
I did not like that other queen. No.
And again, as you see, there's not a whole lot going on here. Everybody has a big heart and a little heart. So, and that's why I keep preaching aggression. The first player that looks at their chips is going to win this fight.
7 makes it 35.
And there it's folded to Chris in the small, and he's going to raise with Jack 7 against Kel's stack in the big blind. And Kel, you know, he could have done anything right there. Nothing he did would have been a bad move.
That's right.
His fold was fine. If he wanted to call and take a flop in position, that would be fine. And if he wanted to ship it on him, that would be fine. So, you know, poker's not an exact defined game. There's so many variants of it can always happen. And Chris taking the initiative there, knowing that Kel plays on the little tighter side, so he was able to get on the folding ace.
That's right. The Lone Star Poker Series started on January 22nd. We've been going for, 10 days of poker. Today is the last day of the Lone Star Poker Series. This series had published over $500,000 guaranteed, and we nearly hit that just with this main event.
Exactly.
It's just such a great turnout.
I don't know what just happened there.
Maybe a misdeal. This series offered things for players of all types. Mixed games, low buy-in events, high buy-in events. I mean, satellites throughout the week as well. There was a ladies-only event on last Sunday that included a Tiffany bracelet that was worth valued at $1,000
That
added
Tiffany
to.
bracelet was beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah, with all the little fun added things that are really valuable too. It's not just, I mean, these
yeah.
belt buckles, these money clips, the
Yeah,
Tiffany
and
bracelet.
speaking of which, I know which table's coming in after the break, and it is going to be somebody who won the prelim event. That's a little teaser for anybody listening that's trying to figure out who it is. It is somebody who won a prelim event, so you'll have to tune back in after break to see who that is.
We got some more friends in chat.
And there you see Kel. He folds the ace-5 blind versus blind last time and chips the 9-7.
Hello to Wendy, Brad, and Talia. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Is Tiffany still in? Asks Wendy.
Tiffany is still in. I just walked around the room. Tiffany is in it. I heard a rumor from my buddy Cash that she busted home over $1 million chip hot about 30 minutes ago. So she's in. She has a lot of chips. I will say she will probably be on the stream at some point today.
That's awesome.
And, like I said, we're going to try to get as many of these people in here as we can. There's a lot of local legends still in this tournament.
1 full, 2 full, 4 full, 5 full.
Yeah, you guys tell us on the Facebook page
8 raises it up to
who
30.
you want to watch play that's still in this tournament.
We don't have any control over it, but we will listen to you.
Yeah. Well, we could pass along advice.
9 full.
And there's Kel again, raising it up with the King 9 on the button. And Corey does like to mix it up. I wouldn't be shocked to see him make a call here against a min raise from the button. I wouldn't be shocked to see Corey 3-bet here, and I would not be shocked to see Corey fold here. He's got chips in his hand. That looks like a call.
10 calls, heads up.
And nobody flops anything. Kel's got the overcard and gutter and the King of Diamonds on the 2-diamond board.
10 check.
Yeah, Corey completely whiffs on this flop.
Corey is good at continuation bet,
8 makes
which
6,
should
1,
be enough to pick up the pot.
5.
And Kel added some much needed chips to his stack. And let's see if we can get one more hand in here.
Oh yeah, we're good.
I'm the master of 1 chip and getting there, and 4 chips and never leaving.
Alright, Gills, if you start at 7 week and you're on, you're on a 15-minute break. Just yellow chip color up, 15-minute break.
I need jacket for
The break has started, but we get one final hand.
Fireworks. Let's see fireworks.
Oh no! First hand.
Yeah, the very first hand that pops up on the board after I yell fireworks is a small blind holding the 18 suited.
But it looks like it's in the safe.
And nobody really has much, but as you've seen, these guys are mixing it up.
Yeah.
They're not sitting there waiting to just go full club.
Oh, David doesn't get +1. Shoves his short stack.
My good buddy David Shaw ships in the 9, and Corey's not going to be folding.
David may be taking it much longer than 15-minute break.
Wow, that was rude. Jesus.
Yeah, see a couple of 9s.
Corey Dodge put his own
You heard
sticker?
Chris with the oh no as soon as
Yeah.
as soon as Corey put it in there.
No kidding.
And Jack 8-4. So David does flop a gut shot, 9-10 or a queen, and it's his jack. So Corey's gonna win. Good game, David. This says 37-minute break. I can't imagine that's right.
I heard they were adding extra time. Let's just check this out.
So we will be back here after break. If it is 37 minutes, you can find me at the bar.
I mean, I see a 13-minute break clock on the progress.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I heard they're gonna chip up, but
yeah. So I imagine we're gonna be back here in about 13 minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Jesse and myself. We're gonna have some guests come in and join us at different points of the day. And we are going to have a brand new table coming back as you see all these guys take their chips. They're not taking them on break, but they're moving to a new table. So,
in addition, one more thing. The feature table likes to cut. Oh no.
smiles to piles.
The feature table likes to cut their streams once we change tables. So what you'll see is the stream cut off. We're not done for the day by any means. All that's going to happen is once we get this new table set after break, we'll start a brand new broadcast. So don't worry, you're not going to miss a single moment of action. Break has started for the players, and we'll be back with you guys very shortly. Thanks again for hanging out with us here on the feature table.